You kept waiting, staring at the clock, feeling invisible, wondering why life seemed to leave you behind, why every door slammed shut just when you thought it was opening, why your prayers felt like whispers lost in the void, and yet, every delay was not a denial, every silence was not ignorance, every setback was not failure, because God was not late. He was orchestrating a divine plan that was bigger than your mind could imagine. And He was delaying not to punish you, but to protect you from what you were not ready to handle, to prepare you for blessings that are too powerful to receive without preparation, to shape your character, your strength, your faith, and your heart in ways only trials can teach. And if He had answered your prayers too soon, you would have stumbled under the weight of blessings too great for your timing. So the waiting, the frustration, the unanswered prayers, the moments of doubt, the tears shed in secret, were all part of a divine setup to make you ready. To make you unstoppable, to make you powerful, because God never moves randomly, He never acts hastily, He never allows harm disguised as delay to touch those He is grooming for greatness. And now, as you begin to see the pieces falling into place, you will realize that the people who left, the doors that closed, the plans that failed, all of it was a divine redirection, a shield against what would have hindered your destiny. And the blessing that is coming is not just ordinary, it is life changing. It is purpose-altering, it is miracle-level, because every delay was intentional, every pause was preparation, every quiet moment was a divine rehearsal for your breakthrough, and when it comes, you will be ready, fully equipped, fully confident, fully aligned, and fully protected, because God's timing is never late, His plan is never flawed, and His purpose is always perfect. And in this moment, you must trust, you must wait, you must have faith, because what is coming is so much bigger than what you imagined, so much stronger than what you thought possible, so much more perfect than what you dared to dream, and the realization will hit you like a thunderbolt that every second of waiting, every ounce of patience, every tear, every setback, every disappointment, every loss, every silent prayer, every sleepless night, was preparing you for something extraordinary, for something unstoppable, for something divinely orchestrated, for something that only God could plan. And when it finally happens, the weight of gratitude, the power of awe, and the flood of joy will overwhelm you, because you will see clearly that the delay was not cruel, it was wise, not harmful, but protective, not a denial, but a divine invitation to the greatness that is meant for you. And you will finally say, I understand now, God was never late, He was always in control, and everything happened exactly as it was supposed to, for my good, for my growth, for my purpose, and for His glory. And from that moment, nothing will ever hold you back, because you have walked through the fire of waiting, survived the silence, endured the unknown, and now, you are unstoppable, unshakable, and unbreakable, fully ready to receive the blessings that God has delayed for a reason only He could see, even when you thought it was over, even when you felt like giving up, even when your heart ached from disappointment. God was silently moving things behind the scenes, orchestrating circumstances, positioning the right people, closing doors that would have led to danger, opening doors that lead straight to purpose, and every no you received was a divine yes in disguise, every delay was a preparation, every struggle was training, and every tear you cried was a seed that would grow into unimaginable victory, because God's delays are never mistakes, they are strategic maneuvers in the grandest plan of your life, and you were never abandoned, you were never forgotten, you were never ignored, and the moment You finally step into what has been prepared for you, you will understand that the waiting was the very thing that made the blessing so powerful, so effective, so life-altering, because God knew that if He had given it to you too soon, you would not have been ready, and He doesn't give what can destroy before it can build. He doesn't grant what can overwhelm before it can prepare. And He doesn't bless what can be wasted before it is ready to multiply, so every delay, every moment of silence, every unfulfilled expectation, was a protective shield around your destiny, ensuring that the timing, the alignment, the readiness, and the fullness of blessing would arrive exactly when it was supposed to. And now, as you look back, the pieces start to make sense, the pain starts to have purpose, the waiting starts to feel like a gift, and the tears start to reveal the road to triumph, because every closed door kept you safe from harm. Every detour taught you resilience, every disappointment made your faith stronger, every rejection strengthened your vision, every delay sharpened your patience, every moment of doubt deepened your trust, and every silent prayer built the spiritual muscles that are necessary for the weight of the blessings you are about to carry. And when the moment finally comes, it will not just be a blessing, it will be a breakthrough, a shift, a transformation, a divine elevation. Because God's hand was moving even when you couldn't see it, His plan was unfolding even when you couldn't feel it, and His purpose was forming even when you couldn't understand it, and in that moment, you will finally recognize that the waiting was never wasted, the delay was never accidental, and the silence was never meaningless, because God's timing is precise, His wisdom is perfect, and His love is far beyond what your heart can imagine. And now, as the breakthrough approaches, your heart will ignite with faith, your mind will strengthen with clarity, your spirit will rise with confidence, and your life will explode with favor, because the God who delayed for your protection, for your preparation, and for your purpose, is about to move, and nothing will ever be the same again. And now, you stand on the edge of what you've been waiting for, the moment that seemed so far away, the moment you almost gave up on, the moment that was delayed for reasons you didn't understand, but now the mystery is about to unfold, because God's timing is never wrong, and everything that was held back, everything that was postponed, everything that seemed impossible is now aligning, falling into place, coming together. And when it does, you will see that every second of waiting was worth it. Every tear, every heartache, every sleepless night, every unanswered prayer, every moment of doubt, every disappointment, every loss, every setback, was God's way of protecting you, shaping you, and preparing you for the life that is coming, a life so much greater than you could imagine, a destiny so much bigger than your dreams, a blessing so powerful it will leave you in awe. Because God doesn't just give what you ask for. He gives what you are ready for, what is best for your growth, what will glorify His name, and the delay that frustrated you, the silence that tested you, the waiting that exhausted you, was all part of His plan to make you strong, make you wise, make you faithful, and make you unstoppable. And now as the moment approaches, you will feel it in your spirit, a surge of hope, a spark of courage, a wave of peace, because God's preparation has matured, His timing has ripened, and His blessing is ready to be released into your life, and you will finally understand that nothing, not one struggle, not one pain, not one closed door, not one rejection, not one failure, not one delay, was wasted, because it was all building you, shaping you, aligning you, and preparing you to receive what you were always meant to have. And when it comes, it will exceed your expectations, it will overwhelm your senses, it will open doors you never imagined, it will elevate you to heights you never dreamed of. And you will look back and see clearly that God's delay was never a punishment, never a mistake, never a denial, but a preparation, a protection, a perfection, because He knows what you can handle, He knows what you are ready for, He knows what your purpose requires, and He has been working in silence to orchestrate it all, so that when the breakthrough comes, it will be unstoppable, undeniable, and undeniable proof that God's timing is perfect. And now you are ready, your heart is ready, your mind is ready, your spirit is ready, your life is ready, because the God who delayed has not forgotten, He has not abandoned, He has not denied, and the moment of fulfillment, the moment of breakthrough, the moment of blessing is finally here, and it will change everything forever, because the waiting was the preparation, the delay was the protection, the silence was the strategy, and the God who holds time in His hands is about to pour out His favor, His miracle, His destiny. And nothing will ever be the same again, and as you step into this new season, you will notice the shift immediately. The air feels different, opportunities appear that you never saw coming, people show up exactly when you need them, circumstances align perfectly, and every blessing you prayed for in silence begins to manifest, because God's delay was never denial, it was divine alignment. Every closed door that hurt you was a door that protected you from disaster. Every setback that broke your heart was a step that strengthened your faith. Every disappointment that discouraged you was a test that sharpened your vision, and now, the results of His preparation are about to hit your life like a tidal wave, unstoppable, overwhelming, undeniable, because God doesn't just give blessings, He gives destiny, purpose, miracles, and favor that cannot be ignored, and the moment you see it, you will know without a doubt that the waiting was intentional, the delay was strategic, the silence was purposeful, and everything you endured was molding you for this very moment, and no one else could have gone through the exact struggles you faced, no one else could have learned the lessons you were meant to learn, and no one else could have been prepared to receive the magnitude of what God is releasing into your life, because God's timing is never early, never late, never random, and every step of the journey was carefully crafted, calculated, and orchestrated, and now you can finally release the fear, release the doubt, release the frustration, because the time of your breakthrough has arrived, the season of your promotion has come, the doors that were once closed are now wide open, and the life that seemed impossible is now inevitable, and as you embrace it, you will understand that patience was not wasted, faith was not in vain, perseverance was not meaningless, and every tear, every prayer, every struggle, every moment of waiting was the very thing that made this moment perfect. Because God's delays are never mistakes, His timing is always flawless, His plans are always perfect, and His love is beyond what the human mind can comprehend, and as you receive all that He has been preparing, your heart will overflow with gratitude, your spirit will soar with joy, your faith will ignite with unstoppable power, and your life will become living proof that God's timing is perfect, His plan is divine, and nothing in your past, no delay, no setback, no pain, no disappointment, no loss, no obstacle, was ever wasted, because it was all leading to this, your season of victory, your moment of blessing, your time of fulfillment, your divine alignment, and as you walk forward into this reality, you will carry the wisdom of the waiting, the strength of the struggle, the clarity of faith, and the power of God's timing, and you will never again doubt that His delays are always for your good, always for your protection, always for your preparation, always for your purpose, always for your glory. Because now you have arrived at the place you were meant to be, and the life that was held back for a reason is finally here, unstoppable, undeniable, and everlasting, and nothing, no one, and no circumstance will ever take away the perfect timing of God's blessings in your life, because He who holds time in His hands has moved on your behalf, and what was delayed is now delivered, what was prepared is now revealed, and what was promised is now unstoppable. And now, as you fully embrace this moment, you will realize that every moment of doubt, every second of waiting, every tear you shed, every disappointment you endured, every prayer that seemed unanswered, every door that slammed in your face, every person who left your life, every plan that failed, every loss that hurt you deeply, was all part of a divine strategy to prepare you for what is coming, because God's delays are not denials. His silences are not abandonments, His pauses are not mistakes, and His timing is never random, and the moment you see it, you will understand that everything in your life that felt like a setback, that felt like a failure, that felt like a loss, was actually a setup, a preparation, a protection, and a rehearsal for your breakthrough, for your destiny, for your miracle, and for your purpose, because God knew exactly what you needed, exactly when you needed it, exactly how to prepare you, and exactly who and what to remove from your life so that you could step into the fullness of His plan without being hindered, without being distracted, and without being unprepared. And now the blessings that were delayed are arriving with such force, such precision, such clarity, and such perfection that you will be left in awe, overwhelmed with gratitude, and humbled by the greatness of God's plan. And as you walk into this new reality, you will feel a confidence unlike anything you have ever experienced, a peace that surpasses understanding, a joy that cannot be contained, and a faith that cannot be shaken, because you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that God has been working behind the scenes, moving mountains, opening doors, closing doors, arranging circumstances, aligning people, and orchestrating every detail of your life so that when the time came, everything would fall into place perfectly, and nothing would be missing, nothing would be out of order, and nothing could stop what God has planned. And as you embrace this moment, you will finally understand that the waiting was never wasted, the delay was never meaningless, the silence was never purposeless, and every struggle, every setback, every disappointment, every heartbreak, every loss, every tear, every moment of doubt, every moment of fear, every moment of waiting, was all leading to this moment of victory, this moment of breakthrough, this moment of divine favor, and this moment of unstoppable blessing. And now, as you step forward fully aligned with God's purpose, fully ready for His blessings, fully prepared for His plan, you will never again doubt the timing of your life, you will never again question the purpose of your struggle, you will never again fear the silence of waiting, because you know now that God's delay was never a denial, never a punishment, never a mistake, never a random act, but always a precise, intentional, divine orchestration. And what has been delayed for a reason is finally arriving, unstoppable, undeniable, and unstoppable, and your life will never be the same again, because the God who has been moving behind the scenes has finally revealed the fullness of His plan, and your destiny is now unstoppable, your blessings are now overflowing, your breakthrough is now inevitable, and everything that was once held back is now released, because God's timing is perfect, His wisdom is flawless, His love is eternal, and His plan is unstoppable. And as you stand now at the threshold of this new season, you will feel a shift in the air, a stirring in your spirit, a clarity in your mind, and a fire in your heart, because God's preparation has reached its completion, and everything that was delayed, everything that was postponed, everything that was hidden in the silence, is now ready to manifest, ready to explode, ready to elevate your life beyond anything you imagined, and the breakthrough you have been waiting for will not come quietly, it will not be subtle, it will not be ordinary, because God never moves in small ways when He is about to bring destiny into alignment, and as the blessings flood in, you will see clearly that every struggle, every setback, every disappointment, every closed door, every loss, every tear, every moment of doubt, and every moment of waiting, was the very thing that prepared you for this exact moment, for this exact season, for this exact purpose, and nothing could have replaced the lessons, the strength, the wisdom, and the endurance you gained while waiting, because God's delays were never delays, they were divine preparations, divine strategies, divine alignments, and divine protections, and now, as the manifestation begins, you will step into your full power, your full purpose, your full calling, your full destiny, and everything that once seemed impossible will now be inevitable, everything that once felt delayed will now be delivered, everything that once felt broken will now be restored, everything that once seemed lost will now be returned with abundance, and every blessing will arrive in perfect timing, perfect measure, and perfect alignment with the plan God has written for your life, and you will finally understand that the waiting was never wasted, the delays were never cruel, the silence was never meaningless, and the struggles were never in vain, because every single step, every single moment, every single tear, every single disappointment, every single challenge, and every single setback, was the very thing that made you ready, that made you strong, that made you patient, that made you faithful, that made you resilient, and that made you unstoppable, and now, as you fully embrace this divine timing, you will walk boldly into the life you were always meant to live, the destiny you were always meant to fulfill, and the blessings that were held back for a reason will now flood your life with abundance, power, favor, and glory, because the God who orchestrates time, who controls seasons, who governs destiny, and who holds the future in His hands, has moved on your behalf, has prepared your path, and has ensured that nothing, no one, and no circumstance can stop what He has ordained for you, and as you step forward fully aligned with His purpose, fully ready for His blessings, fully empowered by His timing, fully confident in His plan, you will finally see that the waiting was the preparation, the delay was the protection, the silence was the strategy, and everything you endured has led to this unstoppable, undeniable, and life-altering breakthrough, and from this moment forward, your life will never be the same, because what God has delayed for a reason is now fully released, fully revealed, and fully unstoppable, and the blessings, the favor, the breakthrough, and the destiny you have been waiting for will now overflow in ways that will leave you in awe, humbled, and grateful, because God's timing is perfect, His plan is flawless, and His purpose is unstoppable.